In our last installment, we had it set up so that enemies were being generated, and they're generating in random positions and slightly random times. So our next installment is we want to be able to shoot something at these enemies. So let's set that up. And the first thing I'm going to do is add a new object. And I think what I'll do is I'll search for bullet. And maybe I'll use this fireball thing as my bullet. So let's select that, add it to the game. And we want it so that whenever I fire a bullet, we create one of those, but we also don't want to be able to just spam bullets. We want to restrict how fast the player can actually fire those bullets. And so I'm going to go to the player. I'm going to create two variables. I'm going to actually for now, let's just keep it simple. We'll create one. So I'm going to create a variable called CanShoot. Okay, and we'll set that to true and apply that. And what that's going to do is it's going to find out, okay, is it okay for the player to shoot? And then we need to actually decide what key we want to use for firing. I'll just use the F key for fire. So I'm going to add, well, actually spacebar. Let's use spacebar. So I'm going to add a condition for when they press a key on the keyboard, and we'll use space. So spacebar. And I'm going to want to make sure, though, that they actually can shoot. So not just when they press the space key, but also if the player's variable. So notice there's under variables, there's a collection option, and I'm going to get the value or and there's sometimes you'll want to look here, sometimes you want to look here, but I see Boolean. Boolean is true or false. And I know I have a Boolean variable to look at. So Boolean can shoot. If it is true, then it's okay to shoot. And so I would create a bullet, and I'm going to create it at the same X position as my spaceship. So I'll go find common expressions for objects, position, and we'll get the X position of our blue player's ship. And we'll do the same thing for the Y position. So I'll just change that to Y. But the problem is that will make it spawn right on top of our ship. We don't want that. So I'm going to subtract, let's say 50, and that will make it spawn a little bit above, because remember, as you go up, Y gets smaller. So I'm going to hit OK. And let's play that and see what happens when I hit the space bar. Oh, now notice if I hold the space bar down, we're shooting indefinitely, and that's not what we want. So we need to make sure that we are actually changing this can shoot variable. So as soon as they shoot, the first thing we're going to want to do is change the blue player ship's can shoot variable. So let's go find that. So Boolean value, can shoot. I'm going to set it to false so that I can only shoot one time. The problem is then I would never be able to shoot ever again. And so I'm going to add a new event for a timer. And I'm going to go to timer, and I'm going to check the value of a timer, and let's let them shoot once per second. So every 1 second, we'll call this shot cooldown. Okay, and I'm going to copy that name so I can use it later. And so, okay. If shot cooldown is greater than 1 second, then what we'll do is we will add an action to change the can shoot variable back to true. So Boolean value set can shoot to true. So what this does is every time shot cooldown reaches a second, it will reset this. But that means that we need to restart this timer every time I shoot. So I'm going to go up to add an action when I shoot. I'm going to go to timers, and I'm going to start or reset a scene timer, and I'm going to paste in that name. That's why I copied that earlier. And so what that does is it creates the object. It says, nope, can't shoot anymore. And it resets the timer to start the timer. And after the timer goes 1 second, then it will allow us to shoot again. So let's play this and make sure that it's working as intended. So if I hit space, and I'm holding down the space bar right now, and you can see about every 1 second, a fireball comes out. But notice it doesn't look very realistic right now because we need to both rotate it and start it moving. So I'm going to do that now. Let's go to the bullet. We're going to rotate that bullet, so angle. And let's see, we need to rotate it 90 degrees, I think. And that's the first thing we're going to do. And then the second thing we're going to do is we're going to start it moving. So we're going to add a force, not in the X direction, in the Y direction. And we want it to go this way. So I'm going to set it to minus 100, so twice as fast. And we'll make that a permanent speed. And so OK. And we'll play that now. And let's see how that works. So I'll hit. Oh, I rotated the wrong way, didn't I? So, and notice that it's not spawning at the center of the plane like I thought it should. And the reason for that is because if I go look at my ship and go to edit points, notice that my ship's location is not at its center. So I'm going to move that to its center. And then I'll just adjust this to exactly the center value. So that like that. And that's the first thing. Second thing is we need to do the same thing with the bullet. So edit points, we're going to move that to its center. So it looks like about 22 and 20. Okay. And we'll apply that. Notice that my ship moved a little bit, so let me move it back over. And we'll play that. So let's hit this fire. Oh, it's not quite far enough, and I forgot to rotate it, didn't I? Okay, so that's an easy one to fix because we just need to change this angle. To rotate it all the way around, it'd be another 180, so that'd be 270 degrees. Okay, and it's not far enough away from the ship, so let's subtract, let's say 70. And so now let's play that, and when we fire it, whoop, where'd it go? So when we fire it, there we go. Okay. And notice I can hold it down and it fires only a certain amount of time. Now those bullets are not going very fast, so maybe we need a little bit higher speed there. Let's, in fact, twice as fast. So we'll play that. Let's see what that looks like. There we go. That is a little more reasonable. So the only thing left for us to do then is to make it so those bullets actually do something. And we're going to do that by adding a new event for the bullet, and when the bullet collides with a ship, and we're using this ship right now. Eventually you'll need a collision with all of the ship types, but we're going to use this right here. And if the bullet collides with the ship, we will add an action and we will delete the ship. So delete. And so let's hit play. And where's my first ship going to be? There it is. So bam. Okay, now notice though the bullet kept going, and that's not really what I want. So I think I'm going to add another. I'm going to delete the bullet at the same time. So we'll delete both the ship and the bullet. And to make it a little more engaging, let's add an action and for music or sound. I mean, so audio. We're going to play a sound. We want some kind of explosion. So I could, I'm going to choose, why is it not letting me choose one from, hmm, hmm. I guess I'm going to have to go grab the music file myself. So that's a bummer. So I'm using the downloaded version of GDevelop right now, and apparently I will need to download my sound file first, which is kind of a bummer. So let's go to, let's see if I can actually download music here. Nope. Okay, that's a bummer. Well, I guess we won't add a sound this time. We'll save that for next time. So just a reminder of where we're at. Okay, so notice, oh, just got rid of the ship up there. So it is working. It is a bummer that we don't have the sound working because I'm on the downloaded version, but we'll add that in a future installment.